to get an interview and all of that. It's not that easy, right? It's not that easy, but it's an achievement to get an interview. So I'd just like to pass this question to the group before I get into who I am. Okay, so when last did you get an interview? I'd love to hear your feedback. When last did you get an interview, or have you ever left an interview room feeling, oh, I could have done better? So when last did you get an interview? I'd love to hear last week, last month, last 3 months, last 6 months, probably last year, or maybe never. So I'd love to hear our feedback on the chat box, or you can put a thumbs up if you've gotten an interview. Okay, great, Yinka. I love your feedback. Thank you for that. December, and you felt you could have done better. I would love to hear from others. When last did you get an interview, and how did you feel after attending the interview? Did you feel, oh, I feel like I should have had more confidence, or I feel like I shouldn't have said the things I said, or I feel like I did not make enough research on the company, and all of that. So I'd love to hear everybody's feedback. You can type on the chat box. How did you feel? So when last did you get an interview, and how did you feel? So whilst you're doing that, I would just like to let you know about who we are at Talent Loop, who I am, and of course, what we do for you. So just to let you know, tonight, once again, we are going to be discussing how to self-review an interview so you improve for the next one. Now, our founder, Adeza Suleiman, is a technology expert with over a decade experience in data analytics, data science, and management consulting. So one thing I can assure you here is that you're in safe hands. And that's because we have a technology expert that is with us, that founded this business, and of course has helped over 3,000 people land their first tech jobs, and even in other industries as well, right? So we have somebody like that. And then this is me, of course. I am an executive operations associate at Talent Loop and a career coach who has helped over 200 people to gain clarity on their career paths and also help them in securing their jobs, right? So once again, welcome to tonight's session, and I'm glad to have you all here. Okay, so let's go back to our question. When last did you get an interview, or when last did you have an interview, and how did you feel? Okay, so Akinwumi says, I feel like I could have researched about the job role better. Great, I felt I could have done better. Well, that happens a lot of time. Nikesh says, early January, but I could have done better. Sebi says, in January, I was nervous. I did not prepare well. Okay, I would love to also hear more feedback. But that's the truth with interviews, right? You keep on asking yourself questions like, did I do well? Was I good enough? Will I get a call back? Right? So the thing is, most people attend interviews, but very few actually review these interviews. Now, in as much as, like I said earlier, getting an interview is a large achievement. It's a major achievement. But the truth is, it's not just the interview level you want to stop at. You also want to get the job. That's why you are actually attending that interview. And if you do not put enough preparation into it, you do not review, and you do not do something better, then you might not be getting a call back. So now everybody that has sent in their reviews and said, oh, I felt like I could have done better. Now I have a question for you. Did you do something about it? Did you go back to self-review? Did you go back to ask yourself, how can I make things better? In as much as I know that, oh, I could have done better, but then did you actually do something about it? Did you review the questions you were asked? You know what I tell my clients? Whenever they want to go into an interview, I tell them to always have their phones handy so that they can record themselves during that interview, so that they get back to review themselves, right? So we help them to also review and know what things to do better. Because the truth is, if you're not going to be getting a call back, or you feel like, oh, I don't think I did well, just like Yinka here is saying, I don't think I made enough research, it's normal. It happens, especially when you've probably not gotten an interview in a very long time, or you're probably nervous about it. It happens, right? But then there's also the place of having to self-review. Go back. People always say it, when you make a mistake or you make an error, you always have to go back to review the things that you did so that you can do better. And that's what we're going to be discussing tonight, right? So we're going to be discussing why self-review matters, the right way to evaluate an interview, I'm going to be sharing with you a simple framework to assess yourself, the mistakes people make after interviews, how to prepare for the next one, and of course, to land that job. And I'm sure that by the end of tonight, you would be getting a lot of knowledge and value that you're going to be putting into your next interview. And I promise you, you would most likely be landing that job, right? Okay, so let's get into it. But before I go, please fill the attendance form because, like I said, I'm going to be sharing with you a framework. We're also going to be sharing with you a particular material handbook that contains questions that recruiters ask and how best to answer this question so that you also practice this. But for you to get access to these resources that will be shared, as well as the recording of this session, you would have to fill the attendance form. So the attendance form has been posted on the chat box. Please fill the attendance form so that you can get access to the resources that will be shared tonight. Okay, so let's get into it. Every interview gives you two things, right? Just like everybody said, you've gotten an interview, or you might even be here, you've not gotten an interview in a very long while. I'm still going to be discussing about all of these things. So every interview gives you two things, either a possible, okay, so either a possible job or a real life feedback. Now, the truth is, you might not get the job after an interview, and that's probably due to the fact that you probably did not prepare well, or maybe they already have picked their choice. But one way to stand out in an interview is by ensuring that you have feedback and you go back to review, right? Now, one thing we do at Talent Loop is that we help to guarantee interviews, and we even help our clients to land interviews. However, we also prep our clients for these interviews. And that's also by teaching them to self-review and answer these questions, more like even putting them in a state of mock interviews so that they get to assess themselves and we also get to assess them. And I can assure you that 6 out of 10 clients that we work with and we prep for interviews always land the job. And that's because we go through a proper and a thorough interview prep session. And that's what I'm going to be discussing and divulging tonight. So the thing is, even when you don't get the role, right? Let's say you go through just like what happened to Sebi, what happened to Yinka, and what happened to other people attending an interview and feeling like you probably did not prepare well for it. You still gain data, you still gain feedback, and it's another opportunity to actually do better in your next interview. I don't know if any one of us attended a session. We have it on our YouTube page. You can check it out. How to actually answer questions during an interview. I think we also released a tip about that on our social media pages. You can go ahead and check it out, right? How to answer questions during interviews. So when you do all of this, and let's say you still do not get the offer, what do? You self-review. I hope you understand. You self-review and then you give yourself feedback. Now, the truth is, interviews are a skill. You have to put in preparation. You have to be prepared. You can't say that you get an email telling you, oh, you have an interview, and then you don't prepare for it. That means you are literally planning to fail. And you're probably saying, oh, okay, I know it. Okay, let's say I got an interview for a business analyst role. And then I'm like, okay, I know my onions. I know how to use the tools. I know how to do this. I've done this before. And then I go into the interview and I'm like, hey, hi, everybody. And I'm asked, okay, tell me about yourself. And then I do so. And then the question pops up, oh, have you researched this company before? And then you're like, I don't think so. Now, that is a big red flag on the part of the recruiters because it's like we sent you an interview invite, but somehow you did not do your due diligence. So I need you to understand the fact that interviews are a skill. It's something that has to do with preparation, right? And confidence grows with practice. We have a lot of our clients that come in and say, to be very honest, I'm good at what I do, but somehow I do not have the confidence. Now, one way to get confidence is by constant practice. By constant practice and constant feedback and constant review. And just like I said, I'm going to be sharing with you a framework that you're going to be using to actually make things better. And the last point I'd like to raise is the fact that growth comes from honest evaluation. Now, the truth is, you might not know something except you probably go on that hot seat and then you are being told the reality. So you are probably going to be asked this question, and somehow you find out that you are actually blabbering, or you are not even you're not saying the right things you're supposed to say. You are probably saying, "Oh, I come from a family of this," and then somehow when you are listening to the recording, "Oh, I said this. Why would I say this?" Right? So it all still comes back from self-review. Just imagine you go for an interview, you probably did not do so well. You felt you should have done better, and then you still have another interview and still get into that interview and still do not even think about the fact that, oh, there was a reason why I did not do better. So have I gone back to check? Have I gone back to listen to the recording? So that's one thing I would be telling you. The next interview you have, I would want you to actually go on and record yourself. One major thing you should take from tonight's session: record yourself and always go back to listen to the recording so that you are able to know, this is where I went wrong. These are the things I probably should not have said. These are the things I should improve on. Probably I was talking more about my responsibilities than my achievements, right? And without a proper review, you will keep on repeating the same mistake and getting the same results, the same unfortunately results, over and over again. And no, I promise you, it is not your village people. It's just the fact that you probably did not do a self review. You did not get any feedback and you did not do anything. Now, I feel like one big mistake people also make is the fact that after an interview, a better way, or should I say, a more effective way to get feedback is by sending a mail, right? After sending a follow-up mail, "Oh, thank you for the interview," and all of that. If you do not get that job, send a mail asking for feedback, for constructive feedback. And then some recruiters, not all recruiters do it, but some recruiters would actually grant that request and say, "Oh, we feel you should have done this better. We feel you should have highlighted your experience rather than this. We feel you should have talked about your achievements. We feel like you should have spoken with more confidence, like you owned the room." That way, you are taking down these points and knowing that, "Oh, I have to go and work on my confidence. Oh, I have to be more conscious when I am actually in an interview. I cannot just be saying things off my head. Oh, I think I need to have some bullet points around me when I probably am in an interview." Do you understand? So these are constructive feedback that you need to have. I need to understand that review starts right after the interview. So I'm going to be taking us down some steps, right, to evaluate yourself better after an interview. So after an interview, you should ask yourself these questions. What questions was I asked? Which ones did I answer well? And that's why I said there's a need for you to record yourself on the phone. Nobody needs to see the phone. Just put it somewhere and then listen. Of course, go back and listen to the recording. Ask yourself, which ones did I answer well? When they told me, "Oh, they probably gave me a scenario, did I explain myself better? Where did I struggle? Did I communicate clearly?" Right? This is something that you can carry out. You don't have to do it alone. You can also use an interview coach to also give feedback. Now, doing these things, I promise you, is definitely going to make you not repeat the same mistakes you made in the previous interview. So imagine you ask yourself these questions. You would know that the next time you would communicate better. The next time you would answer questions well. The next time you would know that, "Oh, I need to make use of the STAR approach to answer my questions. I need to make use of the SIT approach to answer my questions." A lot of people make this error. Just dropping this by the side. A lot of people make the error of, when they are being asked by recruiters, they are asked, I think somebody's unmuted. So when they are being asked the question, "Do you have any questions for us?" Now, the truth is, They want you to ask them questions. But in your head, you might be forming humility about the fact that, oh, no questions. I understand everything. No. They love inquisitive people. They love people that want to ask them questions. And if you don't ask them questions, it can be a red flag, right? Or they ask you, why do you think we should hire you for this role? Now, the truth is, when recruiters, I'm dropping some of these tips. When recruiters ask you, why do you think we should hire you for this role? You know what they're asking you? They're asking you, do your values align with our values? And how do you want to know the values of the company? You need to make your research on that. So let's say they're big on honesty. They are big on discipline. They are big on a particular value. You tell them, oh, I think you should hire me for this role because I believe that I am this. I have this value, which I believe would actually help to benefit the company and push it forward. I promise you, they will be impressed because in their mind, they're saying, oh, our values align. But if you're saying, oh, I think you should hire me because I'm very organized, a BA par excellence, I know how to research for data, I know how to execute data. You've already told them all of this in your previous questions that you answered. So why? They're really asking you, why should we hire you? Do our values align? And if our values align, great. And that's why you always have to somehow find a meeting point for your values and their values to align. That way, you are able to impress them. So I hope we are gaining something. If you are gaining value, I want you to just um, put a thumbs up, right? Click on the thumbs up if you are gaining value. Great. Thank you so much. Okay. So another step to reflect on these interview questions is step 2, ask yourself once again, did I research the company properly? Can see here, Yinka said something earlier. He felt or she felt that the company should have been, no, he or she could, because I'm not so sure if Yinka is a guy or a lady, but let's say Yinka is a guy, right? I should have researched the company before I joined the call or the interview. Did I research the company well? Do I even know their values? Do I know anything about them? You know, another way, I'm dropping another interview tip, is when you get an interview invite, go and research the people on LinkedIn. Like, go search for the company, look for their hiring manager, look for their HR, look for their operations manager. You know, the department you would most likely be hired into. Look for the person on LinkedIn. Connect with the person. I promise you, it shows a lot of intentionality on your part. Because the truth is, what happens is when recruiters are actively interviewing you, they actually check you out on LinkedIn at that point in time. So you are seeing that somebody searched you out on LinkedIn. And if they realize that few days too, you already connected with them, I promise you it would impress them because it shows somebody that is very intentional. Right? So that's another thing. Did I understand the job description? So let's say you were probably hired for the role of a project manager and they do not exactly do agile stuff. Let's say they majorly work with construction and somehow you did not do your research enough. And then you are talking about Scrum Master. You are talking about the use of Jira. They are wondering, we are not talking about agile here. It means that you do not understand or somehow you just go off point, right? Because every interview you attend, look at the job description. Focus your achievements on the job description. So let's say they are looking for someone, a project manager in construction, and you have worked in construction. You can say, oh, I helped to ensure that the project was done on time. We had a few mishaps, but however, I was able to gather my team, ensure that things were done. We had a few rise in the material cost, but we're able to already, due to the fact that I was proactive, I had already ordered for these materials even before the increase in cost. And because of this, I was able to save my clients a lot of money. Trust me, they will be impressed because you are working in line with the job description, right? Ask yourself this question too. Was I able to connect my experience to the role? Now, all this can come from honestly still recording yourself. How was I able to connect my experience to the role? So like I said, let's still bank on the construction. And then you're saying, so let's say they majorly deal with commercial buildings, and probably you've not even worked on a lot of commercial buildings. You probably worked on more residential buildings than commercial buildings. You can always say, oh, you can keep on hitting that commercial building you worked on and say, oh, I was able to work on that particular one, this. Just somehow connecting your experience. And did I have good examples ready? Now, recruiters want to hear instances. They've gone through your CV, they've seen your responsibilities, they've even seen some of your achievements. But the truth is, one of the best ways to connect with a recruiter is storytelling. And that storytelling is, I mean, talking about your instances. So you can say, oh, one time when I was working at this particular company, you don't even need to say the name of the company. I was able to do this. So this was the issue they were faced with. They had this problem, and I was able to solve their problem. They are connecting better because, okay, let's say they even have that same problem in their company, or they've faced that kind of problem. You are literally giving them a solution, and then they are looking at you as a solution provider. So your interviews, joining interviews, another tip is the recruiters just want to see how you can solve their problems. Every company has problems. Every company has a gap, and that's why they are hiring you. And if you don't know that gap, if you don't know how to solve that gap, they would not want to hire you. Nobody wants to hire dead weight. What they want to hire is somebody that can solve their problems. Let's go on to the next step. Step 3. Ask yourself, was I confident or nervous? Was I relaxed? Now, the truth is, let's all be honest with ourselves here. Getting into an interview makes you nervous because you're saying, I need this job. That's why you're taking that interview. I need this job. I want this job. So it makes you feel nervous. What if I don't do well? But another thing you can do is you can probably have a sticky note or something and tell yourself back to reality. Because the truth is, if you are nervous, you begin to say the wrong things. So you need to calm. And you can probably calm at the point where you say, when they ask you, tell me about yourself. By the time you are already talking about yourself, you need to be bringing yourself back to earth, right? And calm. Remember, you know these things they are asking you. You are just literally selling yourself. You are pitching yourself. Do you understand? Ask yourself, did I ramble? Did I answer questions directly? I remember we had an interview prep session with one of our clients last week, and the specialist, because we bring specialists on board to prep our specialists and professionals to prep our clients, and then the specialist told her, this particular person, that a tip for you. Let's say you don't know an answer to a question, and then they ask you, and you somehow have forgotten, or you probably do not know. You know what you say? You can repeat the question to them and say, oh, okay, so how did I? Or you say, oh, okay, okay. And then from there, so that time you're saying, oh, okay, or repeating the question, try and push your brain into overdrive so that you can actually get something to say, right? Don't blank out. Ask yourself, was I clear and structured? How well did I do? Did I speak well? Ask yourself, did I maintain good body language? I know some people, I've come into some interviews where you are interviewing them and they are touching the back of their head. It shows they are nervous, or they are doing like this, or they are scratching their head like this. Now, these are signs that shows that you are nervous. So you need to hold yourself and say, no, I'm not doing that. And that's why you have to be conscious. And all this can't happen if you don't go back to self-review. So let's say you did it in the interview you had previously. You need to go back and ask yourself, oh, okay, I was scratching my head. Because it can be an unconscious thing, right? But then you need to know and hold yourself. So it's something you need to, it can only come when you go back to self-review. Because what you say matters, and how you say it matters too. The recruiters are looking at how well behaved you are, your behavioral skills, your technical skills, everything together. right? Also, step 4, review the questions you struggled with. So after listening, highlighting, oh, these are the questions I actually struggled with. Now go back and review. Oh, okay. When I was asked to tell them about myself, I somehow slipped that I'm married. They don't honestly care if you're married. I shouldn't have put that. So how should I do this? Okay, so there is something called the SEAT approach, skills. Okay, I need to talk about my skills, my experience, my achievements, my traits. So I probably have a sticky note that says SEAT. And then when I'm being asked again in my next interview, I want to say, oh, my name is this, and I'm married. Oh, sorry for that mix up or for the slip up. And then you push yourself and talk about it. Talk about your skills, your experience, what you achieved doing those things or carrying out those responsibilities and traits, right? And then you ask yourself the questions I struggled with, questions I answered well as well. You can either answer better or stick to that response. You probably, oh, I think they were really pleased with this response I gave. Do the same thing again. Questions I wasn't prepared for. So maybe they asked you some scenarios you were not so familiar with. You know that, okay, I need to learn more about these scenarios. I need to learn more about these tools. I need to learn more about the features that these tools have so that I can do better. Remember, just think about it. If you self review now, right? Let's say you have an interview, you self-review. I can assure you that you would most likely not be making the same mistake the next time. And especially when you practice too. So you need to practice. It's not just enough to self-review, you need to practice and practice, right? And then step 5, encourage them. Send them a thank you mail. Recruiters love it when you connect with them and when you also send them follow-up mails. It means that you are very serious. So let's say you are done with an interview. They say, oh, thank you so much for that interview. It was really great connecting with you too. You are easily able to follow up if you've not still gotten any response, right? Politely request for feedback, just like I said earlier. Request for feedback, constructive feedback. Use it to improve. And to be honest, every silence too is feedback. Let's say you probably did not get any response from that interview. Then probably they did not exactly enjoy how you presented yourself. And at times it's not just you, but then you always know that you have to improve. Because if you don't improve, you won't get better results and you won't get that job. So, I talked about a particular framework about how you can use it for your interviews, right? If you want to practice for interviews. So a simple self-review after your interviews, ask clarity of answers, right? Seek clarity. So it's the CARE framework, CARE, alignment to the role. So you ask yourself, how aligned? What was I saying? The words I said, were they aligned to this role? Did I research and prepare as I should? How did I engage my recruiters? Was I confident? Right? You can either check this framework even before the start of the interview. Ensure that whichever possible questions they'll be asking, you have clarity. And before you answer questions, ensure you are clear about the questions. If you don't understand, you can, there's no crime in asking, oh, can you explain better? I do not seem to understand this question. Do you understand? And please let's fill the attendance form, sorry, so that you get access to the resources. Like I said, we'll also be sharing with you a handbook with questions, common questions that recruiters ask, and how best to answer them. So please fill the attendance form because that's the only way you would be able to get access to these materials. Okay, now it's time to turn your reviews into actions. So let's say after reviewing, I've seen that I probably did not talk about my experience as I should. I said some irrelevant things. I was probably scratching my head. I was not confident enough. What then should I do? So let's say somehow you saw that the recruiter made a comment about your CV, saying, oh, your CV was not so clear. You can update your CV if needed. Take actions, actionable steps. Improve your answers. Practice mock interviews. Like I said, we do that at Talent Group as well. We help to coach you for interviews. Strengthen weak areas. Prepare better stories. Know how best to engage your recruiters so that you do not just keep on getting interviews upon interviews and not even getting any responses. Now, I tell my clients as well that if you see that you got an interview invite from a startup, a major tip, startups, they need people, right? But you also have to prove yourself that you're the person they are looking for. At times, for some startups, you might have to prepare a presentation deck, especially if you are going for an intermediate role or a senior level role. That way, they know that you are serious. And trust me, you would be leaving a lasting impression because your interview is how best to leave an impression on a recruiter, not exactly through your CV. Because the truth is, it might not even be them that went through your CV, right? So the interview is one way to prove yourself. So you need to do all of that. And then this is what we do at Talent Group, like I said. But before I discuss what we do at Talent Group, once again, if you've been getting value, I want you to put a thumbs up. Just indicate with a thumbs up on the chat box. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that we are getting a lot of value, right? So the thing is, with interviews, you have to be highly intentional. You cannot be lax about it. You can't even be relaxed. It's something you have to practice and practice till you get the right results. And of course, we do all of this and even more at Talent Group. We have people we've helped with. Just last week, we were able to get a client of ours. She went to our interview prep session and she got a job as a business analyst. Right? So, like I said, this is what we do. We do all of this. I'll just be showing you some testimonials of people that we've worked with that can testify about the fact that they went through our interview prep sessions, our LinkedIn optimization. So the thing is, what Talent Loop does, we are more than just even an interview prep um, organization. What we do, we are more like a job search assistance agency. That we know how it can be applying to jobs. We know how it can be getting rejections upon rejections. Trust me, nobody loves rejections. It literally messes with you mentally, right? Nobody wants to get silent. Nobody wants to get interviews with no callbacks. And that's why we are here for you. Now, if you take a look at Erica got a job offer as a business analyst after 8 weeks of working with her. We prepped her for every of our interviews, and she was able to land an offer with this one. We have Kristen. Kristen also got a job as a project manager after 6 weeks of working with him. Now, this was also somebody we prepped for interviews, and he was able to land a job. Now, we are not just, like I said, we do not just help you secure interviews, right? We also prep you. Now, we have specialists and professionals that actually are doing this separately, and it's all more like the setting of a mock interview where we prep you so that you know the right questions you would most likely be getting. So we make a research on the company as well, and then we ask you likely questions because the truth is there's a way recruiters think, and most our specialists are also trained to think like that. And that way you know that, oh, okay, I've been asked these questions, just like a revision. Do you understand? Like a revision, and then you are able to answer these questions. We have Ene. Ene landed a role as a data scientist with a company in the UK. And this was also after prepping her. We helped her to review and revamp her CV. We helped her to optimize her LinkedIn profile. We also helped her to apply to jobs. We helped her to land interviews and, of course, prepped her for these interviews so that she was able to secure the job. We have Yetunde. Yetunde, who also now, Yetunde's story is quite distinct because Yetunde had been getting rejections upon rejections, only for her to sign up with Talent Loop. And 4 weeks after, she started getting interviews. At some point, she said, please stop applying. right? We also have, if in fact Ene reached out to us a few months ago. I wish I have that here, saying that she does not know what we did, but she has gotten 22 more recruiters in her DM on LinkedIn saying they would like to work with her. And that's amazing and mind blowing. And it just shows how effective we are with what we do, right? We also have Temidayo. Temidayo also landed a role as a project manager, also 1 month after subscribing to Talent Loop. Now, what do we do for you? Talent Loop helps to review and revamp your CV. So, like I said, we know how it can be crazy in the 2026 job market. The 2026 job market is saturated. We all know that. However, it's easy to get somebody who is completely focused on all of these things, right? Instead of you doing them yourself, we get to do the hard work for you while you focus on other aspects of your life, right? And we help you to do this by reviewing and revamping your CV. We have professionals for all of this. We also help you to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Like I said, there are lots of people that will reach out to you. In fact, I would boldly say 7, 8 out of 10 clients that we work with honestly get interview invites from LinkedIn. And that's because they like what they see. Aside from the fact that you are applying to jobs, recruiters also actively search for people on LinkedIn. I did that myself, I think 3 weeks ago. I helped somebody to get some talent on LinkedIn. And the truth is, if you don't have the right headline, you would not be getting a DM. If you don't have the right bio, you don't have the right profile, I promise you, you would not be getting any DMs. And the truth is, you also not be getting any interview invites. But then what we do is we help you optimize your LinkedIn and ensure that you start getting recruiters to notice you, right? We also apply to these jobs for you. We ensure we help you with your application process. We manage the whole application process. We have paid job platforms where we get our jobs from, so it's faster, it's better, it's more reliable. And then, depending on the kind of jobs you're looking for, we guarantee you interviews. Now, for our sponsorship package, it's quite different. However, I would love for you to book a clarity call with us if you would be liking sponsorship, and then we prepare you for these interviews so that you can actually get that job, so that you can stand out amongst others and leave a lasting impression. But before I talk more about Talent Loop, I'd like to ask if you have questions for me. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Do you have any questions on interviews, interview tips, interview prep? If you have any questions, please let me know. Questions, questions, questions. Okay, Abigail has a question. Abigail, yes, please, you can unmute your mic and let's continue.
Oh, thank you very much. Like I know I joined late, but
Okay.
I just want to ask the package is like how much are they?
Oh,
And
yes, I'll.
again,
Okay.
okay, and again, someone that doesn't have like a remote job experience or even a CV
Mhm.
for a remote job, do you people also reconstruct that for the person too?
Yes, we help with CVs. We help to build your CVs. And of course, I'll be discussing the packages very soon. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
I just want to know the packages, but you said you will be
Yes.
discussing
Yes,
it soon.
I'll be
Thank you.
discussing that very soon. You're welcome. Okay, Oluwatosin has a question.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, of course, loud and clear.
Yeah, please. I just joined. I stumbled on this and I joined. Because
Okay.
I've actually registered for a package before with
Okay.
you. Yeah. Though, I just want to make a suggestion. Because I wouldn't want to disrupt what you're doing.
Okay.
So, well, just my suggestion is just that, the package that I actually did. I think you people are based majorly on this tech stuff. I'm an healthcare assistant in the UK, and the
Okay.
package I do, I won't lie to you, I wasn't impressed at all.
Mm.
I was not impressed at all. Even
Mm.
when the person that was with me did with me, I did even myself, the ones I did, I got few interviews, and they did
Wow.
they said almost 50 this in no single interview. So I'm thinking
Mm.
that the way I think is that maybe um you people deal more of tech than
Mm.
healthcare assistant. So I just joined this just to let you know my own my dissatisfaction. So I wouldn't know who to just explain to. That's why I just came up
Yeah.
here and just vent my own dissatisfaction with what I got.
Okay.
Wasn't impressive at all.
Mm.
Even the person that was dealing with me, they just they don't even know that they don't even understand the salary threshold that qualifies for
Wow.
sponsorship. They don't even
Wow.
know I was dissatisfied, seriously. When I started with the person, when we started, I just had to be quiet. I just say, okay, I've paid. Let me see what's going to come out for me. Though. Because I'm
Mm.
here in the UK here, so I understand what is obtainable. The market is saturated. The market is the whole place is there's serious competition now
Mm-hmm.
for if you want to get a sponsorship job. So I know what is obtainable. So I just felt like, oh, this is not going anywhere. But I just felt, let me just use faith to see what's going to happen. And it was it
Okay.
last a few days ago. They told me that now we're at over 50 jobs now. So the
Mm.
contract is almost ending. I vented my anger upon that lady, and
Oh,
she was.
wow.
It was as if it was as if everyone to let loose because it was really, really, really crazy that things
Mm.
like that. Though the money, I paid 170, £180
Okay.
with VAT. So though it may look small, it's not small money
Oh, no, it's
for
not.
somebody
It's not.
for someone who is looking for a job, who needs sponsorship.
Of
So
course.
I was. It's as if you are into tech. If they had
Mm.
actually told me that you are more into tech than into this care stuff, I wouldn't have even paid.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, though the lady was very calm with me and was trying to tell me that I should just take it easy, that I should speak with the management and see what they can
Mm-hmm.
do,
Yeah.
that they can work something out for me. I said, I don't need anything again.
Mm.
I'm just dissatisfied and I'm not interested any longer. And she said, let them do so. I said, I don't need anything. You
Mm.
started with me. Even the period you started, even me myself, I did an interview yesterday from my own listing. It's just that the
Okay.
market is saturated and the
How
sponsorship
was
is
it, by the
difficult.
way? How was the interview?
Yeah, I did well. I was even the only one that passed. Sincerely, I will I will say it the way it is. I asked for interview prep, and the person that actually prepped me for the interview actually tried
That's good
from
to
your
know. Thank you
side.
for that review.
Yeah, the person
Thank
actually
you for
tried
that
and
review.
opened my eyes to a lot of things, and it actually
Yeah.
helped me in the interview. The interview I did
Mm.
yesterday, I was the only one that passed, but it was a job I got
Wow.
for myself by myself.
That's impressive. Okay, so
Yeah,
Oluwatosin, thank you so much. And my sincere apologies. In fact, I am just hearing about this. However, please, would you be fine if we reach out to your applications manager again so that we can get your details and speak with you? Because most definitely we'll be doing something about it. However, thank you so much for the review on the interview prep. Thank you, and we are glad to see that you're the only one that passed. That's quite impressive, right?
I was the only
Thank
one
you
that
for
passed the
what to
interview.
say.
The whole thing.
Yes,
So
so we'll be reaching out to you most assuredly. Okay,
it's all right. Okay, I just want to let you know my own. I
thank you
just
so.
have to let it out. Yeah, what it's
No
my
problem.
own feelings about what I got from your packages here.
Yeah, so we completely understand, and our sincere apologies once more. No, we are not like that. So we'll definitely be reaching out to you and ensuring that everything goes on well. Okay. Okay, so
All
before
right.
I take more questions, sorry, this session is going to be ending very, very soon. I would just like to discuss more about what we do. And of course, once again, still spotlight Oluwatosin about the fact that he said he was literally the only one who actually got who passed that interview stage even after our interview prep. It just shows how effective we are. And I would like to say that if you have any complaints, right, this is more like a session, a knowledgeable session. Please click the link to book actually a clarity call with us so that we can talk about it. Or if you already have access to your applications manager, please reach out to applications manager so that we can work something out as soon as we can. Okay, so this is more like a session where we give knowledge, not exactly talk about complaints. Of course, there's a session for that, and that's why I said please reach out to applications manager or click the link to book a call with us so that we can resolve that as soon as we can. Okay, would love to resolve every form of complaints, every unnecessary complaints, every unnecessary issues, not complaints. Of course, your complaints are not, they're very, very necessary. Okay. Okay, so before I take more questions, or you can type out the questions on the chat box because we are really running behind time. Okay, so this is more like a screenshot that I'm showing you of recruiters reaching out directly to our clients on LinkedIn. And I'm very sure after Oluwatosin just spoke, some people might be having questions. Oh, do we exactly apply to majorly people in tech or every career path? Okay, so I would say we are more versed in tech. That I would admit and acknowledge, and that's because, okay, if you want to contact Amdari, please, if it's Talent Loop, please reach out to Talent Loop at amdari.io. However, if it's Amdari directly, okay, great. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Okay, so like I said, you might be wondering, oh, do we only apply to people majorly in tech or in other career paths? Yes, we also apply to people in other career paths. In fact, I'll be showing you screenshots of people we've worked with, lawyers, accountants that we've worked with. But one thing I can say and actually openly acknowledge is the fact that we also do a lot more in tech. However, we would always want to get you results because, of course, your success is our success, right? So here's a screenshot showing recruiters directly reaching out to our clients on LinkedIn. These are more screenshots, delivery managers, product owners, data scientists, data analysts, scrum masters, doctors, quite a number of people, to be honest. People we've also helped to get interviews. And of course, people we've also prepped during these interviews so that they can get the best results they can. You can hear what Oluwatosin just said. That's literally like a living testimony, opening his eyes to so many things and him being the only one that passed that interview. And I really do hope you get that job, Oluwatosin. So let's also see interviews that we've helped people to secure. Like I said, quite a number. We had to blur out the names or cover the names, and that's due to the fact that some of them do not want their names to be shown. However, these are a lot of screenshots of people that we've worked with, right? And I've also walked you through the testimonials of people we've also helped to secure job roles. We have audios. If you check our social media pages, you would see audios and testimonials of people we've worked with saying we've actually gotten them results, right? And majorly, here's what our clients have to say about us. Now, this person says, Amdari Talent Loop exceeded my expectations. It was a big struggle getting interviews, but within weeks of joining the program, employers started reaching out. My assigned employability manager, Monsura, was simply exceptional. I will recommend them any day. This person also says, I really like what has been done so far in terms of my CV, optimizing my LinkedIn, and with the jobs that have been applied to. One thing I'm happy about is the availability, promptness to request, and communications with my assigned client manager. I really like the work that has been done so far as everything is organized and I'm carried along every step of the way. We have more feedback from people that have worked with us. And if you would want to also make use of our services and our packages, please click the link to book a free clarity session with our career coaches so that we help to understand exactly what the issue is and how best we can help you. Okay, so click the link. The first 5 people to book a clarity session with us would be getting a free resource as well, and an extra value free resource. So the first 5 people to book a clarity session with us will be getting an extra resource, value resource, pardon. So Majorly here are our pricing. We have the package for the sponsorship package. Please, if you know that you are majorly looking for sponsorship roles, please click the link to book a clarity session with us, as that's a different arrangement entirely. And that's because it's a different setting. I want to get you the best results that we can. Okay, so please book a clarity session with us if you are majorly looking for a sponsorship package. Please, can we post the attendance link? Like I said, you'll be getting resources, so please fill the attendance as well. You'll be getting the framework. You'd also be getting a handbook that has questions that recruiters ask and how best to answer these questions, alongside the recording and the resources shared here. Okay, so here majorly we have three packages that we all have to offer aside the sponsorship package. We have the basic package, where we help you to just review your CV and optimize your LinkedIn profile, right? We also have, now this goes for $75. We have the premium package, where we help you to review and revamp your CV. We optimize your LinkedIn. We apply to jobs for you. We guarantee you 3 interviews within 6 to 8 weeks. And then we also give you a handbook that helps you to stand out in the 2026 job market. And then for the last package, which is the comprehensive package. Oh, yes, Nelson. Yes, of course, we help to do product management, um, project management, business analyst. Honestly, we do all of this, right? Yes, we guarantee you 3 interviews within 6 to 8 weeks. However, if you've been wanting, please fill the clarity session form or book a session with us so that we can get you started as soon as possible, because we have limited slots, a lot of limited slots. So whilst I'm speaking, like I said, this session is supposed to be wrapping up in about 7 minutes max. So whilst I'm speaking, if you have questions, please, you can type them on the chat box, so I also answer as I speak, right? So for the comprehensive package, here we help you to review and revamp your CV. We optimize your LinkedIn profile. We apply to these jobs on your behalf. We guarantee you 3 interviews within 6 to 8 weeks. We prep you for these interviews with our specialists and our professionals. We also give you the handbook, where you also get to practice these interview questions. And we also give you a toolkit that helps you to stand out better in the job market in 2026. Please give me a minute. Okay, I hope you can hear me now. Okay, great. So yes, I was saying that we also help you to do all of this. So now these are the major packages we have to offer aside the sponsorship. But if you'd want to speak with us before you make any payment, please speak with us. Book a link so that we can speak with you. Would love to know what the issue is and how we can help you. So we are not just all about the money. We want to know your problems, your challenges, and of course, discuss the best solution for you. So, yes, before we go off now, we have barely 4 minutes left. If you still have questions, if you've not written your question in the chat box, please, you can speak now. So, I think Oluwatosi has spoken. So, I think we have Gabriel. Gabriel, have we answered your question? If you would like to have any complaints or any issues, please send a mail to talentloop@amdari.io so that we can address that as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Okay, Kasham says, do you receive clients from Africa? Currently, and what happens to those from Nigeria. So we paused operations for Nigerians in Nigeria, and that's due to some complications, but we are actively working on it. And Helen, I remember you from my clarity session. So yes, your name is already on our wait list, and we'll be sending you a mail soon, very, very soon. I can assure you of that. And for Kasham, we'll also be adding your name to the wait list so that we can send you a mail, and we are very eager to return back and resume operations in Africa. However, we are majorly at the moment still centered on we're majorly still centered on UK, US, and Canada, as well as other European countries. But I can assure you, we'll be sending you a mail very soon. So start refreshing your mail to hear from us soonest. Do you have any more questions? And I hope we really enjoyed tonight's session. Did you learn a lot? I would love to see the reactions. If you really learned a lot and you know you're going to be practicing what you learned, give a thumbs up. Great. Thank you so much, Helen. I love that. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think Oluwatosin's already off. Okay, so I think we have come to the end of tonight's session. Once again, thank you so much, everybody. And if you've not filled the attendance, please fill the attendance form, and would love to speak with you. So book a clarity session. It's a free clarity session with us. Book it so that we can speak to you as soon as we can, because of course your success is our success. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for joining tonight's session. Do have an amazing evening and an amazing and a restful weekend. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Night.